You are now watching the Lone Blown. Blown! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the Lone Blown, and today we're going to be covering over a deck that I've covered a few times on this channel. I mean, this card's literally been out for almost 2 years now, so it's got to be covered in some capacity over and over again. But I think this deck's absolutely busted right now. That is Pikachu and Zekrom-GX. For all of you Pikachu lovers out there, I mean, or anyone who wants to play competitively. Before I dive too far into this deck profile and PTCGO playthrough video, be sure to hit up PTCGOstore.com, use code ZLassage5, that's code ZLassage5, to save 5% on your next order of codes. Maybe you're missing a cool art for the Raichu, Alolan Raichu GX, maybe you just want to support a content creator. However it works, go check it out. The link is also in the description, along with a copy and pastable version of this deck, so be sure to check that out. So PikaRom, what is PikaRom, if you might be wondering? If not, skip ahead to the PTCGO play videos. We'll see exactly how that goes. Full Blitz, great attack, basic Pokemon. You can do 150 damage and power up your Pokemon very quickly. Got Eldegoss that you could do 200, but if you have an additional 3, you could snipe your opponent's bench for 170 damage. How do we power that up? Well, we used to have Thunder Mountain in format. That went out with our rotation, but we still have Tapu Koko Prism Star. So we could use Dance of the Ancients, power up a couple of the Pokemon, energy switch it to the Pokemon we want to go with, or we could just use Boltund V's Electrify attack. So it's really up to you how you want to power up the PikaRom. Either way, this deck works out really consistent, because if you miss the turn 1 Full Blitz by attaching an energy to PikaRom, getting 2 energies in your discard pile, Dance of the Ancients attaching 1 to your PikaRom, and then energy switching to PikaRom again, I mean, you're going to need a few cards to make it happen, but you could draw those cards with Dedenne-GX. You always have the fallback of using Boltund V, of using Electrify, powering up, so you got that turn 2 Full Blitz on deck. I think that's what makes this deck so strong, is that it's very consistent, and it always does what you need it to do. And I mean, when I say always, I mean it most of the time. This format's a little bit wacky right now, is the nicest way to put it. But it's one of those things where I think this deck is definitely one of the most consistent decks. So we also have Crobat, allows us to draw some cards with dark assets. We got Eldegoss V, which can get back some of our supporters. Some of the supporters we play in the deck are boss orders to bring up whatever we want. We've got Leon, so we could do 30 extra damage. That allows some of these Pokemon, such as PikaRom, you can knock out Dedenne-GX or Crobat with Full Blitz. You could also use Boltund-GX to knock out things like Zacian V, Centiskorch V, all that good stuff. And then we got the combo of Marnie, so we don't necessarily let go of our hand, we can disrupt our opponents. And we have Professor's Research, so we could discard our hand and draw 7 cards. So that's a great way to get energy in the discard pile for the Tapu Koko Prism Star. Boltund's a great attacker as well. You got Bolt Storm, 10 plus 30 for each lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon. You can get those lightning energy in play with Tapu Koko Prism Star, Full Blitz. We also have Raichu and Alolan Raichu GX. Tandem Shock doing 80 plus 80 if you brought it from the bench to the active spot. Pretty easy to do that with Air Balloon. And you also have Lightning Ride GX, which could provide one of those strongest attacks in the deck. 150 switch to the bench, or doing 250 switch to the bench. Obviously more with Leon. Got a copy of Vikavolt V. Paralyzing Bolt's a little bit whack, but you can use it against control, stall type decks. I like using it against Baby Blacephalon, so that they can't get back their energy cards with Fire Crystal. You could just bring up something like a Zacian on their bench, and they can't really switch out of it, so they're just kind of vibing with that. So this really improves that matchup, because they are very item-based in their deck. Mewtwo Mew GX, remember that this could only copy GX Pokemon, considering there's no EXs in format. So it does give us the option to use PikaRom, or it gives us the option to use Raichu, Alolan Raichu. Maybe we want to change up our weakness because Colossal VMAX is in the format. Maybe we want to just have a few more attacking options. It does have more HP than both of these cards as well, and gives us an additional strong attacker, because it can copy both Raichu, Alolan Raichu, and I guess it could also copy Dedenne-GX as well. One thing that makes this deck really powerful is that you could grab a couple cards with Electromagnetic Radar, grabbing 2 Lightning GX Pokemon, really Dedenne-GX, Pikachu, Zekrom-GX. You occasionally grab Raichu, Alolan Raichu, but it depends on the matchup. Energy Switch, we already explained this way. You can manipulate energies in play, really working well with Tapu Koko Prism Star, but you could power up a Eldegoss GX in a blink of an eye Quick Ball allows us to get energy in our discard pile, allows us to search out any of our basic Pokemon. It's only basic Pokemon in this deck. 3 copies of Reset Stamp just to hurt our opponents. Going Tagbolt GX, knocking out 2 of their important Pokemon, going Reset Stamp is obviously a power move. Switch just for mobility, a couple copies of Chaotic Swell, just to bump other things like Giant Hearth. When you're playing against decks like Centiskorch VMAX, they really want to have Giant Hearth in play. So you have Chaotic Swell, can just stop that, Reset Stamp them, and then they're just kind of vibing. Boss orders, we could bring up whoever we want, doing extra damage. We've already explained through the supporter cards. Air Balloon, we need some free retreat mobility. If you look at a lot of the Pokemon in this deck, they have 1 or 2 retreat costs. So it's really easy to just get them out of the active spot. Big Charms, so we have more HP than necessary. A lot of Pokemon can do 240, but they may not be able to do 270. Same thing, they might be able to do 270, they may not be able to do 300. Speed Lightning allows us to draw cards from our deck, while making our deck a little bit more consistent. So again, one of the consistency aspects of this deck. Then we have enough Lightnings to work with Full Blitz and Tapu Koko Prism Star. So overall, we have a quick attacking deck that's kind of neutral in a lot of matchups, but its pure consistency should bring it over a lot of the competition. So let's check out some of these games. Let's jump into it. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more great PTCGO content. And yeah, let's just jump in and get it. Okay, here we are jumping into the game. We're going to call the coin flip. Let's go for heads. And we lost the flip. That's okay. We'll see exactly what our opponent's trying to do. I mean, it's out of our hands at this point. Us going first is not really a bad thing because we can almost guarantee an energy all the time on one of our Pokemon. We actually have a great start here, depending on what our opponent goes. And we're going to start with Boltund V in the active spot. And that's just so that we can get energy with Tapu Koko Prism Star in play. So we're going to go for a turn 2 Full Blitz because we can't attack on our first turn. And since we're going first, there's no need for us to bench any of our other Pokemon. Our opponent's starting with Volcanion, that seems fair. So knowing that we're probably playing against Centiskorch VMAX, I'm going to go ahead and go Peak down, Raichu down, Koko down, Chaotic Spell to drop their Giant Hearth from being able to be used. Obviously, Eldegoss is just going to get put out here. And let's just get started with what we could do here. Let's power up this. Give ourselves some more energy. And then, of course, we're just going to pass for our turn. So if we can get a turn 2 Full Blitz, I'm super happy. If we don't, we don't. This is a matchup, if it is Centiskorch, which I assume it's Centiskorch, Tandem Shock is very good in. I know because typically I'm the one who's playing the Centiskorch deck. I'm just out here trying to see exactly what we got. So our opponent used Stellar Witch grabbing a Scoop of Net. That means that they could use Flare Starter. Now, if they might not have Quick Ball or anything like that. Maybe they have another Scoop of Net. Them going through all these resources might be a little bit difficult. So there's the switch. So I don't know if our opponent knows. Okay. So really, I wouldn't necessarily have played it out like they did. I would have tried to... I would have left the Volcanion in the active spot, because they have gone through 3 copies of Switch and a Scoop Up Net. There's a pretty good chance they won't find a way out of the active spot. Considering their deck typically doesn't play Air Balloon, they need to find a Scoop Up Net here. I mean, if they find a Scoop Up Net, it's not the biggest deal, but it shouldn't really happen, as far as I'm concerned. They might be grabbing a Crobat. Yeah. So they're just trying to go in with everything that they possibly have. Probably a mistake to get that last switch out of the way. And they're going to pitch some more cards. You can see that they've used a lot of resources on their first turn just to try to make the Volcanion happen when they naturally would have had it already. But they did end up getting it. Good on them. So they're probably just going to power up the Centiskorch. One energy, 2 energy, and a 3rd energy. Okay, so let's try to get ourselves powered up here. I'm going to go ahead and play a Chaotic Swell in play. Go for another Speed Lightning energy. Reset Stamp's not going to matter at all because we know our opponent has a Jirachi in their hand. I'd rather them have that. We're going to go here ahead and pitch this hand away. We're going to try to get a switch, because we do have our 2 lightning energies in our discard pile. Now, we do have the switch. That's crazy busted. Let's just go Dance of the Ancients to these 2. Switch here into the Pika. And let's go for full blitz onto our Raichu. And the reason why we want to go full blitz onto the Raichu is so that we can totally attack them with Tandem Shock. So there's 1 prize card. Now, depending on what our opponent sends up, like they need Welder. How many energies do they need? We have 270 HP. There's 2 energies, so they need an energy and a Centiskorch VMAX. Because 6 energies is 240 plus 40 base damage, 280 would be the knockout there. I mean, at this point, I feel very confident that our opponent's going to hit it. Yeah, exactly. So, despite everything, our opponent's is kind of running pretty strong here. Maybe I should have reset stamped our opponent. So they're going to draw 3 prize cards. And I mean, we're just trying to paralyze them and hope that they don't hunt a switch. Now, considering our opponent's already played 3 switch, I think we're in a really good spot. So let's go ahead and attach an energy here because we always have options. We don't really want to get anything else out of our deck as far as I'm concerned. Got the boss orders. I sent up the Dedenne because it gets 1 retreat cost, whereas Boltund has 2. I don't think there's anything I want to grab out of the deck. Yeah, I'm just going to play Marnie because our opponent has a pretty big hand. Okay, and we do have a switch. I mean, I'm not opposed to this at all. Let's just go to switch here. Send this up. And let's go Tandem Shock. So they are paralyzed, and our opponent's just going to be vibing. Now, depending on what they get, if they get a switch, we probably just lose the game. But they've already played 3 copies of switch. So that's one of the things you want to be very chilling with your resources. Their Giant Hearth's gone. They've ran out of a lot of energies as well. Because they have 7. They probably only play 11 in their deck. So our opponent's probably just going to pass here. We're going to go for a Lightning Ride GX out of it, get a knockout. Yeah, they're just going to concede. So here we're waiting on our opponent to call the coin flip. We just lost the flip. Not a big deal. They're actually going to let us go second, which I'm oddly okay with. Unfortunately for this hand, I feel like we're going to get destroyed. This is what you get sometimes when you play with PTCGO. You just get a garbage, terrible hand. Not much that we can do here. And of course we're playing against a Galarian Stunfisk V. Amazing. We'll try to vibe out here, do as much as we possibly can. I think our best top deck is probably a Quick Ball or a Professor's Research. I think I'd rather Professor's Research, to be honest. Oh, and we're just playing against an ADP deck. Okay, let's see how it goes. Our opponent going first, attaching a water energy to the ADP so they can get off their turn to Altered Creation. I don't know what else they're really going to be doing, but for us, Quick Ball or Professor's Research, fingers crossed, I'll take a Marnie. I wouldn't be surprised if they were going for a Dedenne-GX here to try to draw into, okay, Crobat, maybe they already have the Dedenne-GX in their hand and they're just trying to get into Azation. I'm not entirely sure. You really don't want to do too much on your first turn, because there's not much else that you could really do. You want to save those resources for later on when your opponent reset stamps you, in most cases. Yeah, and they didn't even get the Zacian, so Zacian there would have been a little bit better. Cool, let's just attach this, attach that. No point of us doing anything either here, so we're just going to vibe out. Our opponent's probably just gonna... They might play Crushing Hammer against us. They've already shown us that they do play it in their deck. Could be a little bit annoying, But again, sometimes you're just dealt a hand like this, and you got to deal with it. Not ideal scenario at all for us to be playing against one of the best decks in the game, one of the best decks of all time, but it is what it is, and you always try to find that crack that you can sneak through. I might lose this game 9 out of 10 times with a start like this. I'm looking for that one game out of the 10 that I'm able to kind of jump back, and that's really where a lot of the top players' mindsets kind of provide them yards above the other players, because we're willing to sit here and be like, all hope isn't lost because we still have one more buffer turn. Our opponent's not knocking out Dedenne-GX this turn. I can put Big Charm on Dedenne-GX. So there's a few cute things that are happening in this game that I think could be cool. Again, we just gotta see exactly. See, our opponent's not getting into the active, so they're stuck as much as we are. So you can see now we got some extra stuff going on. I'm probably just gonna go switch. I mean, I'm not particularly happy about this either, but I mean, it is something. Okay, let's actually go with no, I'm gonna wait on this. I'm gonna go Speed Lightning. I don't need any of those in this matchup, I don't think. So you can see, like, I'm kind of close to how the game should be. I'm fine to discard a Pika. I don't know if I want Raichu. I'm actually probably fine to discard Raichu because we do have Mewtwo. I don't want to necessarily energy switch yet. I think I'm just going to go for Professor's Research here. Yeah. Okay, so let's go for, how many energies do we have there? Let's go Quick Ball for a Cocoa Prism Star. We're gonna power up. So I mean, we did end up getting turn 2 full Blitz. And I'm gonna go ahead here, switch. We were lucky to get our third switch. I just wanted to make sure I was reading the ability correctly. I mean, at this point, I think we're going all in here. Our opponent can't knock us out. If they can't get out of the active spot, we could take 2 prize cards. And maybe we could take 4 prize cards. There's a lot of things that I think we could just do that will put us in an advantageous position at this point. Our biggest thing that we're hoping is that our opponent doesn't find Switch in any capacity. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons not to play Galarian Stunfisk. Just because Galarian Stunfisk has 4 retreat cost. Retreat cost is way more important than most players think. And you can see our opponent's gone through a lot of resources. I don't know entirely. Maybe they only played 2 copies of Switch. I've seen some pretty wacky ADP lists. But they still haven't used Altered Creation GX. They still have to use Altered Creation GX, and they've gone through all of their Metal Saucers. I mean, I think our opponent will probably find Switch here. And if they don't find Switch, yeah, exactly. Again, it's kind of an awkward game. Oh, I don't even know how I feel about that. That doesn't really change too much about what we have going on. They're doing... us doing 230 to the active literally does nothing. Let's just get out of here. Retreat. And let's go for Leon's again. Yeah, it's just gonna do nothing. So let's go Tag Bolt. Let's get this off. I guess I'm going to hit into the Zacian V, because it's the only way that I can get an attack off next turn, I think. I probably should have hit for a full blitz, to be honest, and save my GX attack. But for all I know, our opponent could drop a Leon and just kind of steal this game away. Not entirely sure if I like that play. I probably should have drawn prize cards because I'm not very certain of how I'm able to continue on this game. But maybe our opponent will just go like ultimate ray or something like that. I don't know. It's not the best case scenario. Usually want to go full blitz on the ADP, then knock it out with the Boltund GX. Yeah, they're just gonna... I mean, they've lost a lot of resources. So, I mean, since they didn't use Ultimate Ray and they've lost all their things, they're not getting the knockouts. So I'm going to be able to take the knockout here, and then they actually have no comeback at all. I'm not going to reset stamp our opponent. They didn't do anything. Energy switch, probably better to have the energy from here to here. And let's just go for research. We still have plenty of cards in our deck, so maybe we'll be able to just make a bit of a comeback. I don't know exactly what I want to do here. I'm probably fine just to wait another turn, because there's just probably no way that anything else is going to happen. So let's just go for that. You can see we're running really low on energies. But let's start powering up the Boltunds, and if we're able to find a way out of the active spot, so be it. So, I mean, we're vibing this game. I think that we'll actually be able to win at this rate, because our opponent's gonna have to bench something down and attach, and they've also lost a bunch of their energies. Like, I think our opponent's forced here to go Intrepid Sword, and reset stamp I'm completely fine with as well. Our hand's really not that great. If anything, yeah, we'll take that. Okay, so hopefully with this being game 3, we're able to win the coin flip here. We did win the coin flip. Let's go. I think it's actually better. I'm super debating on this hard if I want to go first or second, because we don't play Crushing Hammers. I actually think it might be better. Would you like to go first? Yeah, I'll just go first here. I mean, if we went second, I don't know how this hand would have gone out, but I mean, at least we have... Maybe it's better to go second, because we always have the fallback of Electrify. Yeah, going second probably is better. It's probably a mistake on my behalf, but we'll see. Let's just say I lost a coin flip, okay? Okay. With our opponent playing Guru in the active spot, don't entirely know what they're playing. I'm just going to go here and... Big Charm. I don't care about reset stamping our opponent because their hand probably sucks. Let's just go to Dedenne-GX, get a couple lightning, it's in our discard pile. I mean, this seems to be working out great. Boltund's probably a really good attacker to have in any matchup. And Chaotic Spell, again, I kind of vibe with this. Let's just chill with that. We're going to pass our turn. I mean, we got 3 energies on our first turn of the game, so I can't really complain with that start. I think if we went second, we probably would have been able to knock out this Oranguru. But maybe this is a really good thing. If our opponent's playing ADP, I could see this being huge. I don't know, I'm going to have to ask some of my teammates and testing partners, because honestly, I think I'm going to play in the Headster TCG events. I'm filming this right now on a Monday, and it's about 2 hours before the event starts, and I'm still determining what deck I want to play. I think this might be my exact list that I go in with. So we'll see how it goes. But I'll have to ask them beforehand, and in my next PikaRom video, I'll update you on how it goes. Oh yikes, I had to discard 2 metal saucers, that hurts so much. So I mean, that's good for us to know what's going in here. Yeah, so with them attaching a metal energy, there's a very good chance that they're not going to have turn 1 Altered Creation unless they play some kind of Turbo Patch energy switch, get a water energy in the discard pile. Like, it's not happening. I mean, they could just go for normal Altered Creation checks without drawing extra prize cards, but then they can't go for boss game strategy. We'll just steal that game because we have a great start. So this is what we got for the deck. I mean, we were able to win a close game against Sunderscorch VMAX. a very close game against ADP where I feel like we got the 1 out of 10 game where we were able to sneak through the cracks. Opponent had a little bit of a rough go with their Galarian Stunfisk V. In the last game, I feel like I don't know if choosing first or second is the correct choice with this deck. Again, I'm gonna have to double check and ask my friends. Maybe I'll post a comment in the comments below. And if you know the answer, or if you have a suggestion or an opinion, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'm actually super active on it, so I'd love to kind of have an open discussion with any of y'all. And if not, head into the Discord. I mean, it hasn't been super active in a while, but I mean, I'm looking to make it a little bit more active there. So I'll ask some friends, see exactly what's the best way, but we were able to go 3-0 with this deck. I told you it's one of the best decks in the format. Give it a try for your next game on PTCGO, in real life, whatever. PikaRom is absolutely busted. And if you're missing any cards, again, go to PTCGOstore.com, plug in code ZELASAGE5 to save 5% on your next order. Again, that's in the description. Feel free to check out any of that and any of my other sponsor links or anything else cool going on there. That being said, I do have to jet because I have some more content to create for all of y'all, but I really appreciate it, everyone. Have yourself a great day, and until next time, see you soon. Thanks for stopping by the Lone Blown. Peace out. Really hope that you enjoyed watching that video. I totally enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, share the video with everyone that you know, and subscribe to the channel as well. Totally appreciate all the support. We got a lot of cool things happening on the channel, so stay tuned for more. Be sure to check out the social links in the description. Thanks, and have yourself a great one.